Hello, and welcome to another Lumbridge Night guide for free-to-play OSRS. In this video we're going to be looking at how to train your free-to-play skills AFK. Well, AFK-ish anyway. Everyone who's ever played OSRS for any length knows that the game inevitably turns into a grind fest at certain points. A great way to get around this, or at least minimise the grind factor, is to utilise AFK training methods. These are very low click and low attention methods that allow you to pretty much leave your character to train while you focus on other things, like the day job, a school or uni assignment, etc. Unfortunately, given the limitations on free-to-play, not every skill is AFK-able. Most of the methods presented here are low click intensity, and admittedly there were a few skills where I couldn't even find any decent low intensity click methods. Anyway, let's get into it. All of your melee skills can be trained fully AFK, and the best spots for this are inside the stronghold of security. There are two monsters that are always aggressive, and these are the flesh crawlers on level 2 and the giant spiders on level 3. Unfortunately, in order to AFK you need to have already attained minimum melee stats of base 50 and pretty much the best in slot melee gear. I recommend full rune, including a rune kite and skimmy, army of power, cape, green d'hide vams, and the best melee boots you can get. Stats wise, for the level 28 flesh crawlers, a minimum of base 50 and a full inventory of food, while for the level 50 spiders I recommend a minimum of base 70. Once you're set up and ready, simply head into SOS, find the right enemies, and once you're in their aggro range, they will just constantly attack you for around 10 to 20 minutes. After that, the aggro will drop and you will need to walk out of their area and re-enter it to get them to attack you again. There is some risk here too, as both these enemies will hit often, which is why high defense and good armor is a must. You will need to keep an eye on your health and do some bank runs to refresh your food when it runs out. You can also use this same method for training ranged, though since ranged armor is nowhere near as good as melee, I recommend a much higher defense level, possibly even level 99. Magic can be fully AFK'd via splashing. See my magic guide for a more detailed breakdown of splashing, but in essence, to splash, all you need to do is use equipment that gives you the biggest penalty to your magic attack bonus, usually melee plate armor, get an air staff and a metric ton of mind runes for wind strike, find a safe spottable enemy with some magic defense, and off you go. Simply attack them, and you will only need to come back every 20 minutes to continue the attack, as Jagex patched the game to stop infinite splashing. Happily, unlike melee, splashing is usually completely safe, as it should be done from a safe spot. Alas, I have no magic guide to AFK prayer. It's simply not possible to my knowledge in free-to-play. I can offer you a relatively low click intensity method, which is fishing in the ruins of Camdozel. A full guide to the dungeon will be popping up on the screen now, and to gain access you will need to complete the Below Ice Mountain quest, a guide to which you can find on my channel. As a side note, there are certain buffs you can buy from Romano, the dwarf in the dungeon, using Baronite shards. In total, you'll need to get 5k shards to buy the fishing and preparation buffs. Once inside, head to the southwest, grab a small net, a knife, and start fishing. Once full, click the preparation altar to prep the fish. Then offer them by clicking the other larger altar to get your prayer XP. The rate is pretty low at about 1.5k XP per hour without the buffs, or about 2.5k per hour with the buffs. All in all, you should be able to do this method with 4 clicks per full inventory, excluding when the fishing spot moves. So while it's not AFK, you should be able to keep it going in the background while you do other things. Another non-AFK-able skill, I'm afraid. The closest method I could think of was to fight body golems, as these are relatively low click intensity. You can then stockpile body cores, which can then be used at the body altar later for some good XP. 75 XP per core. But it's not really very AFK.
Please like the video and support my content. Thank you, noble knight.
Mining is again not truly AFK-able. However, the ruins of Camdozel offer a reasonable alternative. In the northwest of the dungeon, you'll find several Baronite ore veins. You can click on these and your character will auto-mine until the vein is empty. You get 32 XP per successful mining attempt, and each vein should last around 5 goes, but it's completely random. At 40 mining, I was able to get around 8.5k XP per hour, so nowhere near iron ore mining, and still needing to click every say 3 to 5 minutes, but I would say the intensity is just low enough to class this as AFK-able. Smithing is not AFK-able in free-to-play. but there is a low click intensity method you can use, which is smelting iron ore into iron bars in Edgeville. You'll need to stockpile iron ore and rings of forging for this method in advance and have a smithing level of 15. Once you have all that prepped, head to Edgeville, equip a ring of forging and start smelting full inventories of iron. Happily, your character will auto smelt your whole inventory, so you only need to click to start the process, deposit your iron bars and withdraw more iron. I was able to get a rate of around 12k XP per hour. Similar to smithing, crafting cannot truly be AFK'd in free-to-play. The closest we can get is the low click intensity method of buying uncut gems and cutting them. Your character will automatically complete all gems of the same type, so all you need is a chisel, a ton of gems, and a high enough level to cut that type of gem. Then you will only need to click to start the cutting process, deposit, and restock. The rate will heavily depend on the type of gem you use. For example, sapphires give you around 145k XP per hour, while diamonds will grant around 290k XP per hour. See my crafting guide for more details. Fishing, while not being truly AFK, is in general a great low intensity skill. In free to play, the most AFK is probably lobster pot or harpoon fishing, as these will generally take the longest amount of time to get full inventories. Alternatively, you can, with a suitable stockpile of feathers, fish trout and salmon, which is the fastest XP rate in free to play, but you will need to click more often, especially at higher levels, as you will need to empty your inventory more frequently. I recommend dropping your inventories rather than banking them, as the trip to the bank will add concentration time. Also, make sure to turn on shift click dropping to make dropping items faster. Cooking, as you might have guessed by now, is not a true AFK skill either. However, at level 68 cooking and with a few mil coins, you can make jugs of wine. This can be done by buying an equal amount of grapes and jugs of water. You then simply click and your character will automatically combine the two, making a jug of wine. Why only at 68 onwards? Well, because this is the point where you no longer make bad wine, so you won't lose any XP. This is also the best rate you can get in free to play. Again, see my cooking skill guide for more details. Maple logs and yew logs are by far the most time consuming logs to cut, which is bad for efficiency but great for low click intensity. To access maple trees in free to play, you will need a woodcutting level of 50 to have completed Dragon Slayer 1 and at least started the Corsair Curse quest. This will allow you to access the Corsair Cove resource area. Personally, as these are some reasonably valuable logs, I'd rather not drop them either, so maples are a bit more of a pain than yews, since the bank is not very close. For this reason, I would lean more towards yews, as all you need is level 60 woodcutting. You can cut logs at either Varrock Palace or Edgeville, both of which are a short distance from a bank. For either of these trees, you will definitely need a rune pickaxe. Unfortunately, I will end the video on the potentially disappointing, if not predictable note, that firemaking is not AFK-able in free-to-play. Equally, there is no low intensity methods known to me currently. You will always need to click to make each individual fire. Sad times. Just before I finish the video, hopefully some of these methods have given you some ideas on how you can multitask to do some OSRS skilling while you're busy with life, watching some TV, working, or whatever. Admittedly, most of these methods offer a much slower XP rate than if you concentrate fully, but I would suggest these are supplementary methods you can use alongside high intensity training, the combination of which will help starve off burnout, long sessions grinding, and ultimately avoid getting arthritis in your index finger. And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope that this free-to-play AFK-ish guide was useful. Please leave a comment with any superior AFK or low click intensity methods you use, as I'm keen to hear them. And all that's left for me to say is I've been the Lumbridge Knight, peace out, and thanks for watching.